There's a gentleman I'm going to bring up now. I got to know him somewhat early on. He is one of the leaders upon leaders in this company. He is an executive director, which is the highest level in this company. He's a presidential director, which is an ambassador position. And just recently, he became one of a relatively select few people who became a national director with this company. He's been with this company since the outset. He is a true leader. He just completed for all of us the most amazing training to once again defy us to fail but help us succeed. I'd like everybody to please welcome National Director Trey Dyer.
I like to walk around. I don't make a very good screen. Wow, you guys doing all right?
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait to hear what I have to say with an intro like that. You know? Man. You know, I've been to New Jersey, been to Pennsylvania a few times. And before I started coming up here, I talked to several people who had teams up here and they were going, Trey, you know, there's some skeptical people up there. I'm like, wow, we're going to get along great. Because I'm one of those, right? I'm from a small town. Now, you guys have a really cool small town here. I mean, all the towns up here are really, really beautiful compared to my town. I look out and it's just like flat, you know? The town I'm from is called Bayard, Texas. I know none of you guys have heard about that, but you know Dallas, right? So people ask me, even in Texas, where's Bayard? And I say, well, okay, you just get on that straight Interstate 20. It's straight. We have straight roads in Texas. Okay? You guys have no straight roads. Not a straight road in the state. I say you drive straight west, and in about 3 hours, you're going to get pulled over and get a ticket, and you're in my hometown. We don't have stoplights there, so they can't give you any tickets for running the stoplight. We got a couple of stop signs. And so they've got to, you know, give you a tip. We got to make a living somehow, right? I grew up there, lived there my whole life, and I get up here and let me tell you the biggest reason I like coming here. I like to hear all the accents. You see, in Texas we don't have accents. You know, we all talk pretty normal down there. You guys have all these accents. I got hit right away when I got off the plane. People were like, "So where are you from?" And I'm like, "What?" Well, you know, that accent. So anyway, I really appreciate the welcome. Didn't Brett do a great job? Yeah. It's apparent that he works for this restaurant because he made me walk by the buffet just to get up here, right? So, okay, so let me start off by telling you guys a little bit about my story, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my day because it's been it's very much like my business. Okay. I was a skeptic. I've been in this business. I didn't. Brett said I was in from the onset. I actually came in a year after the business started, and I remember when I looked at this, I had one word in my mind, and that word was if. You guys are all looking at me like, well, we're not too bright in Texas, are they? If that will work. If that will work. Let me ask you, if what you saw will work, what would it mean to you? I mean, I know it showed you a lot of numbers and a lot of money here, right? But let's face it, money is not really as important as what that can get you. Am I right? Yeah. So I like to know who I'm talking to. It's easy in Bayard when you're talking to both those people and you're related to them. Right? but here I like to kind of get to know who I'm talking to. So let me ask you, for those of you that were looking at this and maybe you ask yourself the same question, if that will work, what's in it for you? Those of you, maybe some of you guys like to help out with your own retirement. Any of you guys want to do that? You're doing this for retirement? Okay. Residual income coming in every single month, that's a pretty good pretty good retirement. And by the way, retirement is not based, I figured this out, it's not based on age, is it? No. Right? So being retired at 40 is a pretty good deal. And how about kids' school? Anybody doing this for kids' school? Okay. Some of the same hands. School's expensive these days. And there's plenty of money up there for that too, right? What about this one? Who would like to fire their boss? Now, if you're sitting next to your boss, don't raise your hand. I guess I probably should have opened it there. Who would like to take more vacations? I'm thinking a 6-month vacation twice a year. Man, all the hands all go. Let me ask you, where would you go? Where would you go?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I like Bear, Texas. You gotta really want to come to Bear, Texas. Dallas? Dallas is a good place. It's kind of hot. You know, I got off the plane here and I'm like, wow, they still have spring up here. You know? I know where spring goes now once it leaves Texas. Dallas. Is that everybody go to Dallas? Is that where you guys want to go? Where else would you go? Key West. We were in Key West lately. It was pretty good down there. Pretty good. Hawaii's good. Wouldn't it be nice to go on a vacation once a month? I mean, wouldn't that be cool? It takes money. It takes money. Whatever it is, and we've all got different whys. We've all got different reasons. For me, it was freedom. It was absolutely freedom. When I looked at this, I was drug into it. Anybody drug here for the first time? Anybody drug to this business for the first time? Maybe we're not so much alike. Where I come from, we drag everybody, right? I had been working 2 full-time jobs. Now, I owned those jobs. I got to be fair to you. I owned them. But I just owned a job. I was a small business owner. Anybody own traditional businesses in here? Then you know what I'm talking about, right? You're really owned by the business. You know, when you start your own business, you think, wow, I'm going to do anything I want now. I can take a vacation whenever I want. What I learned was I can never take a vacation. I was still trading those hours for dollars because if I wasn't there, no money was being made. Me and Sally, my wife, you're going to get to know Sally over the next few minutes, okay? My program is only 3.5 hours, but I'm going to try to squeeze that into 2. She used to say, either you're home or the money's home. So move along, right? Right, ladies? Yeah. And we got along. But I had one of these jobs, I've been in it for 15 years, the other for a couple. And I had a 4-year-old at the time. And one job kept me, you know, on the road a lot. It's okay when they're little bitty. They really don't do much, do they? But as they start to get older, as they start to get 3 and 4, and they start talking, you start realizing that, you know, I should probably be there some of the time. And I was on a trip, and it took me out of the States for 3 months. And they met me at the airport. And that little 4-year-old saw me coming through the turnstile. And he had a bead on me. You know, for those of you that, you know, bird hunt. You got some bird hunters in here? This is an interactive, okay? But he got a bead on me, and he just headed for me. And he jumped up in my arms, and he would not let go. And I made a decision right there. I said, something has got to change. Something's got to change. You know, I had a really nice little house. I had a couple of nice cars. I looked good. But I did not have freedom. I didn't have it. You know? Isn't it something to have to ask permission to go watch your kids do something? Isn't that something? The problem is I was the boss and I couldn't take off. And I knew it. And I wanted to fire that guy. I wanted to fire him. I wanted to put my feet up on his desk and say, you know what? It's been nice, but I'm going to have to let you go. I knew I wanted, I just didn't know how to get there. You see, you saw that leverage quote by J. Paul Getty. Pretty good quote. Pretty smart guy. He had 3 rules. He said, for financial independence, which is what I wanted. All right? I wanted to celebrate the baseball tournaments, the basketball tournaments. I want to celebrate graduating kindergarten. You know, they actually graduate. They got a little cap and gown. Instead of trying to explain to them why I couldn't be there. That's what I want. Just didn't know how to get there. But J. Paul Getty has 3 rules for financial independence. And he said one, and you're gonna, this is really cool because this is before Stream ever came along in my life. I knew these 3 rules. All right? And I always thought, well, I'm working towards those, but I wasn't. One of them is this. You have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and know you're talking to the boss. Right? You got to be the owner of your own business. That's one rule. I had that. I was like, hey, I'm on my way, right? Second rule, you have to have something, a product or service that a lot of people want or use. Is that this business?
Yes.
I mean, think about it. What were those? More cell phones than toothbrushes. We need more toothbrushes. Right? But here's the kicker. This is the one that got me. This is what I didn't know. This was the question mark for me. Your business has to employ the use of leverage. I didn't have that. Didn't know where to get it. Thought I'd seen everything. Haven't we seen it all? I mean, haven't we seen it all? Have we not seen everything come through the door? Nothing new under the sun, is there? And so when I get home from my second job, 2 full-time jobs, back from this trip, Sally has a DVD in her hands. And the biggest smile you've ever seen. I mean, she's just bursting with excitement. Okay? I'm not. And she says, this is it. We're doing this. This is the answer. And I took one look at that DVD. Back then, it wasn't a very good DVD. Right? And I said, I know what that is. And I told her all the reasons why we're not doing it. Now, I hadn't seen what's on it. I didn't have a clue as to what it was. Okay? But I thought I did, right? Because we've seen it all, hadn't we? And I said, here's the way that thing is going to work right there. You're going to lose all your friends. You know how that goes, right? Why? Because you're going to be shoving something down their throat that they don't want and they don't need and they're paying too much for. You're going to ask them to spend money on something that they don't need. So you're going to lose your friends. You're going to lose your money, probably that you've already invested. And you're going to wind up with a garage full of whatever it is yourself. And that's why we're not doing that. And I turned around and walked away. Now, Sally is kind of hard-headed. Thank God. Right? There's not a day that goes by that before my feet hit the ground that I don't look up and say, thank you, God, for making her so hard-headed. Right? She was stubborn. She believed. She's already seen the information. She saw what we had. And she said, let me tell you something. Ladies, y'all got that finger. All right? And she pulled it out. She said, let me tell you something. I'm doing this with or without you. Because I believe it. I could have let that go, huh, guys? She can't have the last word on me, right? I'm the breadwinner, right? So I probably made the biggest mistake that I've made in the business so far. I opened my big mouth, turned around and said, fine. I'm going to say I told you so. If you make any money, keep it. She has. And that's why I'm up here, right? But she put me on allowance, so I got that going for me. It took her a couple months to finally get me to sit still. And I don't know what it was that made me finally, maybe it was that I didn't see her taking time away from the family to do this business. I didn't see her, I didn't see our friends walking the other way. I didn't see them not answering the phone when I picked them. I don't know. But she got me to sit down and look at it. And once I did, I saw it, right? My eyes were open. I saw something, and it wasn't too much unlike a room like this. Okay, so here's what I like to do. And I'm going to tell you, this is what I saw when I first looked at this. Okay, this helped me a lot because I had this stereotype in my mind of people that did home-based businesses, right? I would like, first of all, if you're a regional director, to stand up. Let us take a look at you. Regional director. But don't stick around there too long because you want to be a managing director then, right? Now, managing directors, I'm going to ask you guys to stand up. Let us take a really good look at this. There are people achieving these levels, and there is money attached to it, I promise you. Senior directors, I'm going to ask you guys to stand and stay standing. And I know we only have a little short time here together, and we want to get to the guy you really showed up for. I'm not naive. Hey, we've proven him wrong, right? Exactly. Somebody got a picture, didn't they? I got to send it to Presley. Okay, if you're a senior director, I'm going to ask you to stand up real quick and excellent. And I want to do it here tonight, if you guys don't mind, but we got to do it quickly. Stay standing if you're a senior director. We're going to go around real quick, and I want you to say this: your name, where you're from, and your occupation. Okay? Because I want everybody to hear that. All right, let's start. Let's start here.
Michael Mentosh, financial services, and we own a pet care business.
Excellent.
Scott Schmidt, Flowertown, chiropractor.
Jody Ruth, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I'm a stay-at-home mom because of this business.
Johnny.
Dan Moyer, Doylestown, and I'm an electrician.
Electrician.
Leonard Hopkins, Eastern Pennsylvania, tax repairer.
Awesome.
Jeff Steer, Somerset, New Jersey, music teacher for one more day.
Excellent.
Don Jesmine, builder from Phillipsburg.
Builder.
Sure.
Retired correctional.
I love it.
Pennsylvania, landscape design build company.
Tom Young, Bethlehem, PA, one out of Florida company.
Tim Ryden, Easton, owner restaurant.
I love it. Did we miss somebody back there? I love it. And she's an expert, right? So, hey.
Denise Hopkins, Eastern Pennsylvania, retired IT professional.
Deborah Wilson Gaddy, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, benefit analyst for disability income.
That's a mouthful, right? So let's give these estimates a round. I usually hear something different every time. You know what I rarely hear? Salesman. But yet that's the perception I had of this. Well, we're going to go sell something, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to sell something. Boy, was I wrong, huh? We have occupations. You can be I have seen every occupation under the sun be successful. And so if you're sitting there and you're watching some of these guys, you know what I'd say, dude? Corner them after this, all right, and get their perspective. Because everybody's got a different perspective. Everybody's got a different training tip. Everybody's got a different piece of advice for you. Take it all. That's what I did. Become a real learner and learn from these SDs, because SDs, I'll tell you, I had a big struggle getting to SD. I couldn't figure out how to get there. And so I have the utmost respect for senior directors. And so, way to go, guys. We've got some executive directors. Let's have them stand away, Greg. Have them stand away from. I want to make sure that you guys know who these people are, because I'm going to tell you something. This is the cream of the crop here. It doesn't get any better than that. It's hard to get to executive director. Am I right? Executive director. It's hard. And these guys stuck it out and they had the commitment. So.
You guys already heard enough of me, Brett Martin.
Oh, come on.
Greg Younger's Doylestown. I break and train horses.
Awesome. Awesome. Now I think we've got one more. He's not really an executive director. He's our newest presidential director. That's awesome. Met him when he had like 30 people. You know what I mean? Didn't have any, now thousands. Now they play music when he stands up. You know what I mean? Let's give it up for these guys. You want to look at the success of a business presentation, look to the leaders. And I think it's pretty evident you guys got some pretty great leaders here, right? So, so you can certainly look up to your leaders and aspire to be like them, aspire to learn from them, because that's how this thing works. You know, what I found is that it's not really taught; it's kind of caught, and it's caught by getting around. And that's what I did early on. When I saw this, I said, "Wow, here's something different." Thought I knew what it was, but boy, was it ever different, wasn't it? And I started watching these leaders. And let me tell you a couple of things, what I saw when I looked at this, and kind of my perspective when I was new, when I was looking at this for the first time. And let me tell you why I really joined, okay? I saw the leverage, first and foremost. That pops out at you, doesn't it? You know, you look at this and you see, wow, if you just want to make a small amount, if you want to make a few hundred, you see how you can do that? If you want to make life-changing income, do you see where that's possible? Absolutely. As big as your vision can be, as much as you want to work and commit, that's what you can do with this business at all levels. You know, I've talked to people in this business that they saw an amount in here. Got a couple down in San Angelo, and they were trying to figure out how to come up with this insurance payment every single month, and it was an exact amount to the amount they saw in here. It was a few $100s. They saw it, they said, we can get it, boom, they got in. They've gotten way more than that now, but that's what they saw. So whether it's a little bit or a lot, I saw that. Me, remember, what did I want to do? Fire my boss. My boss says. They just happen to be the same guy. Sounding a little schizophrenic. But that had a price tag on it, right? Doesn't that have a price tag? And I committed to that. Next thing I did, there's always that one guy. There's always that one. I've been that guy. I've been that guy while I was standing up here. That's really amazing. Okay? If your phone goes off and you're sitting down, you can act like it's not your phone, right? Looking around while you're turning it off, but if you're up here, I mean, you're done. Another thing that I saw is I saw a system. Now, I'd never done anything like this before, okay? So I didn't have to forget anything. When I run across somebody that's done all types of home-based businesses, the first thing I tell them is forget everything you know. Because this is not like anything you know. A lot of people in our business, they get in, and I was a lot the same way. And I was so excited, and they started telling me, here's what you need to do, here's what you need to follow. And I said, I don't need that. I got this. Anybody say I got this? I got this. You know what? I found out I didn't got this, right? I didn't got this. It made me have to realize how important the system is. It really did. I use an analogy of a McDonald's, and I'm going to go through this real quickly because it's important to me. All right? I came here because I believe I have a message for you. And this is part of that message. Okay? It's a philosophy I've had in my business over all these years. What are we selling? We selling anything? What are we selling?
Nothing.
Anybody? We're selling something. But I use that term, let's say I use that term just like you are recommending a good movie. Anybody know what we're selling? What are we selling? I don't hear very good. I'm hearing it all. Anybody think we're selling energy? Anybody? You guys are sharp. I don't even need to cover this. All right? Streams is selling energy. They're selling mobile, right? They're giving us the services that we need, that we all use, right? But are we out there selling that stuff? No. We're marketing hope and opportunity. It's like a McDonald's. I use the phrase, the analogy of the McDonald's. McDonald's moves a lot of burgers. You ever seen the sign? I don't know if they even put it up there anymore, right? But I remember looking at that sign and watching it increase. The last one I saw was served over 1 billion. And I'm looking at this little McDonald's and I'm thinking, wow, I don't see enough cars out front. You know? They move more hamburgers than anybody, right? So it must be the best burger in the world. Would you guys agree it's the best burger in the world? Right? Is it the cheapest burger in the world? Maybe, in some places. Probably not. Not if there's a Burger King across the street. But they sell the most. How do they do that? System, don't they? They have a system of franchising, don't they? Now, if you own a McDonald's, what are you selling? You're selling burgers. And if you own that McDonald's, there's only so many burgers you sell, right? Do you really have leverage there? Now you're leveraging the system a little bit. You're leveraging some employees' time. But if you went out and spent millions of dollars on ads, is that going to really exponentially increase your sales of hamburgers? How are you talking to people if you own a McDonald's, if you're out in the parking lot? What would you say to them? You need to come in here and try this burger, right? These 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, on sesame seed butter, right? Wouldn't you be saying that? This Happy Meal is awesome. Come in here and sit on this clown's lap, right? Let's get a good one. Wouldn't you be doing that? Is that how McDonald's sells all the burgers? No. How do they sell? See, you got 2 McDonald's. You got the franchise, and then you got the guy that's selling the franchises, right? McDonald's systems. And what are they saying? Are they out there saying, hey, if you're going to be the guy selling McDonald's franchise, what are you out there selling? Are you saying, hey, man, got this Big Mac. Are you doing that? Is that how you're talking to people? What are you doing? What are you saying? Take a look at this business model, right? Isn't that what you're saying? Look at these numbers. If you'll invest this and you'll follow this, this is what you can do. Does that make sense? Yes. What are we most like? We're most like McDonald's systems, right? Aren't we selling franchises? Don't we want leverage? Don't we want 1 billion served? That's how they do it. To me, that was profound. Because I was out selling energy. First 10 people I talked to, who you got for your energy company? And they said, I don't know. Wouldn't even talk to me. I had to show back up to the business presentation, corner somebody and say, this isn't working. Why isn't it working? And I had to learn a hard way that the system was important. Now you guys probably, how many of you have subscribed to my video series? That's cool. All right. MyStringTraining.com. You'll find it right there. Now here's what I did there. I had a little free time. This business does that for you, okay? And I said, what did I learn that I would teach my team? And it was really only supposed to go out to my new team members and my team. And it kind of caught on. I've only had it up there a month. But it's the simplest little steps, the system, the freedom plan that I want to teach, that I would teach a new associate. And so what I would encourage you to do, another big part of our business is duplication, right? Wouldn't you like the people you bring in to do what you do? If they would just do what you do, right? They don't do that. Have you figured out most people don't do this? Even the ones who sign up. Have you figured that out? The ones at the top are there for a reason, aren't they? They're there for a reason. this system, I wanted to try to convey what I learned. A good friend of mine has a great, I should have stolen it. Everything else is stolen. Okay? Somewhere I heard that good artists borrow, great artists steal. I want to be a great artist. This guy uses what he calls a batting average. He says, okay, if you do something often enough, you start to develop a ratio. And what are you saying to these people? You talking about hamburgers? Or are you talking about business? And he says you have to do it often enough. And you develop this ratio. If you talk to 10 people and one says yes, one's interested, then you've got a batting average of, you're batting 100, right? If you keep doing it and you get better, that batting average gets better. And so, you know, I'm sitting out there and I'm having a cup of coffee. And I think it was Mr. Morrow that said, talking about Babe Ruth. Is that right? Babe Ruth.
Right.
And he said something that really struck me out there. He said, you know, Babe Ruth, hey, he's the home run king. But he's also the strikeout king. Isn't he? He's also the strikeout. This is the message that I have for you. And this is so important because this was everything for me. This was the number one thing. This was the reason that we got to where we got. This was the reason that I was able to walk away from both of those jobs in 12 months. It's one thing. The batter goes up to the plate and he swings the bat. And in the big leagues, I'm becoming a big baseball fan. My 13-year-old is a huge baseball player, right? And I've discovered by watching television that if you can just hit 2 to 3 out of 10, you make millions of dollars. Most of the time you're missing it, right? So is it enough just to go up and swing at that ball every time? No. No. It's not. Because a lot of people can do that. It's a lot of people can pick up the phone, right? For me it was hard. Here's the key. The batter believes he's going to hit it every single time. One more story and I'm done. Okay? It's the story about today. Today was rough for me. I had this trip all planned. I get to ride with our CEO. Man, it's not often I get to do that, right? I'm excited, I'm fired up. He's got a rental car, so I don't have to buy a rental car. That's great, right? All I gotta do is I gotta get to Hotel ML by lunchtime. Got it covered. Got it all planned out. Some of you guys got this business, you see it, you got it all planned out. All right? I can see it. Some of you guys keep planning and you never actually do anything. You're getting ready to get ready. Me, I had this thing all planned out, man. I'm not gonna take a chance and get there in the morning. I'm going to get there the night before. Had my trip planned, gonna get there last night, stay at the Hotel ML, that way I'll be there for the CEO. Right? Well, you gotta understand I drive 3 hours just to get to the airport from my hotel. On the way up there, I did not expect the traffic I got. In Texas, I mean, it almost resembled some of the stuff you guys get down in Philly, you know, at the wrong time, which is most of the time. I couldn't believe it. My navigator, the girl in the box, sent me way out around. And I'm driving and I'm stressed out and I'm thinking I'm not gonna make it. Okay? So I didn't plan on that. I mean, it would have been easier just to turn around and go home, quite frankly. I get there and guess what I find out? I mean, I'm all stressed out, I'm sweating, I'm running, I'm, you know, trying to make my gate. Get there and I look at the deal and it's like, well, we got a new time now. It's an hour and 5 minutes later. What was I worried about, right? But then I started thinking in my mind, wow, that means your connecting flight in Nashville is not going to make. And there's this huge long line. So I get in this line and wait 45 minutes. Only to find out, hey, you're not going to make it to Philly tonight. Good news. We got you on a plane first thing in the morning. Great news. I mean, I wanted to come and I wanted to come up here and I wanted to meet a lot of people from small towns, skeptical people just like me, right? That's what I'm looking forward to. This is my big why. This is my big, I get to ride around with Bouncer. It's going to be a great week. And he said, here's the probably not so good news. We're going to get you there at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. I can't do that. I mean, I wouldn't even begin there, right? Major wrench in my plan. Major wrench. After waiting in line 45 minutes. So I go and I sit down, and the guy says, well, let me go ahead and book you anyway. All right, so I'm thinking, I'll get off the plane in Nashville tomorrow. I go sit down and I start thinking, okay, well, I gotta get a flight out of Nashville in the morning early. I gotta get there, right? On another airlines, I'm gonna make this thing happen. That happened, but I'm gonna get there. All right? A lot of people in this business don't do that. You've got your whole business planned out. You say, I got this. And some of you guys say, if I could only get so-and-so, he's gonna get in this thing, he's gonna make me rich. Am I right? So-and-so, I'm going to get 5 people right off the bat. I mean, you guys think about it. I'm going to get 5 people right off the bat. I'm going to get that 600. Whatever promo they've got out there, I'm a rock star. Right? How many times have you heard that? And they go and the first couple people tell them, I don't think so. Or the guy that's going to get in and kill this thing, he didn't join. And you know what? You quit. Because of that, don't you? I see it all the time. If it doesn't happen just right, you quit. But I didn't quit on the trip, right? I said I got to do something because I'm making it for that meeting. I don't care what it takes. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So I go over and I sit down and I find this flight that's, I should have been on a gold-plated plane for what they're charging for this seat, right? I had to get a hotel in the airport. I'm thinking, hey, got it now, right? Got it now. Get up, it's a 6:20 flight, nonstop. I give myself plenty of time to get there. I'm driving to the airport. Traffic at 5:30 in the morning. Who ever heard of traffic at 5:30 in the morning, right? Then I get there and I'm trying to find a parking spot. And I'm thinking, where are all these cars coming from? What are they doing? What's this line? And I look over and they demolished my parking garage. And so the whole airport, or most of that terminal, is trying to park in my terminal. It's okay. I've got a solution. I pull in, I whip into that terminal, and they're all lined up in front of me, and they're all going to get those spots. No problem. I'll just take this little ramp here, and I'll get in front of all of them, and I'll get the spot on the next level. Right? So I whip through that ramp called exit. Oops. One more time around the airport. By this time, I'm in danger of missing my flight. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That happens at, I was just talking to a guy outside, SD. You promote, you think you got it made. And all of a sudden, this happened to me as an SD. I made the commitment to talk to 7 to 10 people per week. That's a lot for me, right? And for 6 weeks, nobody said yes. Now I had this batting average going. I was better than the MLB. And for 6 weeks, a lot of people quit right there. They quit at every level, don't they? They quit at every level. Well, I finally found my parking spot. Way up on the top, there was 2 of them. And somebody just, you know what? They just didn't want to go that high up, did they? I was willing to because I had this vision. I've got to get to the meeting. That's how important it is. You guys are a great crowd here tonight. But let me ask you this. And I want you to, don't answer this, but I want you to ask yourself this. Am I going to show up next week? Am I? Am I going to show up next week? I would challenge you to do this. This is what I did, and I would challenge you to do this. Make a commitment to yourself to see it through. Make a commitment to yourself that you will be here fully engaged 1 year. Can you do that? Regardless of what happens tomorrow, regardless of what those people say, regardless of what they think about you. That was my worry. What will they say? What will they think about you? It's not going to be easy. For me, it was much easier to go home and pick up the remote than it was to go to that meeting. But I did it every week, even when I didn't feel like it, because I made the commitment. It was much easier to pick up the remote or pick up something else than it was that phone. You guys know what I'm talking about. My phone, I don't know about y'all's, mine, for some reason, defies the laws of physics and weighs 1,000 pounds. Okay? It's that hard for me, or was. Now it's easy. It would be much easier than that, right? But here's my closing thought, and I promise it is. So you guys go home to Texas. I like them too. What was I talking about? My closing thought was this. Remember what you came here for, and keep it right here. Some of you aspire to get those kids to college. Some of you aspire to retirement. If not this, what? Some of you aspire to significance, which is leading. It's not easy, but you didn't come here for easy, did you? I hope not. Some of you aspire to greatness.